the fringe. He's using a putter. This is a very good putt. Leave it a little short. He will walk out of there with a 1 over 73. And if you ask Tiger, middle of this back nine, he was at one point obviously in some trouble. He was at +3. He birdied 14 and 16. If you ask Tiger, right around Amen corner, if you take a 73, he would have taken it. He would have taken it, and he would have gotten out of there to give himself an opportunity. A 36-37 for Tiger today. So he puts himself currently now, he's 5 strokes behind the leaderboard and the leaders who are at -4 in Hoffman and Stenson. So Tiger today kept himself in a tournament. Augusta on Thursday is a lot like baseball in April. You can't win the tournament Thursday, but you can lose it. Baseball in April, you can't win the pennant in April, but you can lose it. And that's kind of what I look at Augusta here on a Thursday. Patrick Reed now is at -3. He's playing well. Another guy talks a big game. Good Ryder Cup player, has never won a major. We'll keep an eye on him today. Here's Huck in Missouri. Says hello, and he's on Mad Dog Unleashed. Huck, good afternoon. How are you today?
Doing good, Chris. That's a good call on your part on Sergio rattling off several majors after finally breaking through last year at Augusta.
Yeah, of all the places to do that, away we go. But Sergio today had a rough day with the 13. Stenson, by the way, parred 16, so he stays at -4. Go ahead, Huck. I'm sorry. Fire away.
That's all right. Listen, I think Tiger would be happy +1. I'm sure he'd like to be 3 or 4 under, but +1, that's a respectable number considering the fact that you're right. You said there's nobody shooting a 65 or 64 today, so I think Tiger would feel pretty good about where he's at right now.
Well, I think he would feel good about where he is right now only because of the fact that he had a very, very rough stretch there where he was in a little trouble. Fleischman did not birdie 18. That was his 3rd shot up there. He parred it. Let me look for a second now with how many people are in red. That's what you got to look at more than anything else. And you know this. You're a good sports fan. You know. What you got to look more than anything else is essentially how many people are in between here. How many people are in red letters? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There are 15 right now in red. So that's what would bother you with Tiger, that there are 15 people who are under par. Then there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 other people, still in the course, a lot of them, but 9 other people who are even. So right now, there are 24 people ahead of Tiger. Huck, that's the bigger problem. It's not the score per se. It's respectable. It's the idea that there are 24 players that are ahead of him. That's a lot of guys. That's a lot of guys to overtake. You know that better than anybody, for crying out loud.
Well, it is a lot of guys, but you got to look at it this way. It's who's ahead of him. You would rather it be a bunch of guys you've never heard of being ahead of him than a bunch of Spieths and Dustin Johnsons and Rory McIlroys ahead of him that those guys are going to continue to play well. You got 15 guys ahead of you that you never heard before. You're going to feel a little bit better about it than it would be if there was 15 guys ahead of you that hurt.
All right, would you, if you were Tiger, would you be worried that Stenson leads the tournament right now?
I would be. Stenson's playing very, very well. Stenson's a hell of a player. I would be more worried about Stenson in the lead than I would be, say, Tommy Fleetwood. I got to get my NBA in real quick, Chris. I am just heartbroken about Kyrie being done. LeBron James, we all know he's great, but he's going to walk into the finals yet again. This Eastern Conference has been a god-awful disaster for a decade. I just one time like to see LeBron have to earn his way to the finals, and it doesn't look like he's going to have to. Toronto will not beat them. No way in hell. There's no chance. So it's going to be LeBron again. I don't really have a problem with that, but just one time I'd like to see LeBron have to earn his way to the finals. Well,
he has earned it in the past. He hasn't had to worry about it too much recently, but he did have to beat the Celtics. He had to win a Game 6 in Boston, so the year that they were good. So, yeah, you got to keep that in mind, but I agree. I mean, Toronto, the Celtics, for the most part, have not been much of a threat for LeBron in the last, say, 5, 6 years. And you're right on one thing. I'm going to have to see Toronto beat Cleveland before I believe it. All right, I'm going to have to see Toronto be competitive, win a road game. They never went on the road in the postseason in Cleveland. I'm going to have to see Toronto do that before I'm convinced that Toronto can beat them in a series. Here's PJ in Atlanta, and he's with us here, and he says hello, and he's on Mad Dog Unleashed. PJ, good afternoon. How are you today?
Doing well. Chris, the gentleman who talked about leaving your chair is completely correct. Your best bet, the best place to be is at 14. You can set a chair down at middle of the morning. You can leave your hat and you could probably leave
and you don't have to worry about that chair the rest of the day, huh? Well, that's pretty good.
Nobody touches it. And then what you can do is you go follow somebody around the front 9, and then you come back up 9 and go sit at 14. You can watch them come in. It's the only hole that doesn't have bunkers on it. You can watch people go down 11. You can watch them tee off on 15. I mean, but you better be in good shape. That course is very undulating, and if you got a heart condition, you're not walking down in the amen corner. It's very, as you would say, tricky. But it's the TV doesn't give it justice. The undulation at that place is amazing.
Everybody says that. So if you want to park your chair, you put it around the 14th green. That's what you want to do?
Yeah, or if you want to go down to amen, you can. But literally nobody touches it. Like, people just give you a stare, and it's yours. You sit it there, go walk around for 5 hours, and come back, and nobody's sitting there. It's hot because the sun's on it, but it's awesome. I mean, that place is so green. The year Mickelson won it, 04, they have trash cans that aren't actual aluminum. I lifted up the trash can, and it's green underneath. There's not even a ring around the trash cans. I mean, the place is fantastic. But, yeah, if you have a heart condition or you're not used to walking hilly terrain, you need to stay up on top around the first tee box, 9 green, 14th tee and 14th green and 18th green. But you'd love it. You got to get down there, man.
It's amazing I haven't taken this long. It's a bucket list deal. 9 in front of the hour. We continue here on Mad Dog.